Kevin, your question was, who was Hunter S. Thompson?
This is an awesome question.
Yeah,
I really like this one.
Thank you.
I liked
That's what
having
I
to do
do.
some research on this. So
Interesting.
Wait.
I knew I'd heard the name before, but I wasn't really quite knowing
Yeah.
who I was thinking of. But he was an American journalist and author, and he actually came up with this thing called gonzo journalism.
Thank you.
All right. His first foray into the real journalism world was when he actually spent a year with the Hells Angels in the 60s and wrote a book called The Hells Angels.
Okay.
And I remember seeing something on the internet or on TV or something like that when I followed a couple motorcycle shows. And they were talking to Sonny Barger, I think, and he was the president, national president of the Angels, and he talked about Hunter Biden and didn't, or Hunter Biden.
Thompson.
Hunter Thompson.
Freudian
and
Hunter
didn't-
Biden. Same
Didn't
guy.
like him, and
don't like him.
felt that he
Kevin's
put
a
him in
big
the
fan
wrong
of
light.
Hunter S.
Yeah.
Biden. Hunter S. Biden.
Hunter S. Biden.
Jim Barger.
But he came very prominent in and as a counterculture icon,
Okay.
and that's where his thing about the fear and loathing in Las Vegas came from, because it's supposed to be a kind of a what happened to counterculture and why
Okay.
did it fail and stuff like that. So if you look at
That's
it,
kind of the swan song of
it's-
counterculture.
yeah,
is
because
fear and loathing.
he was concerned about going that
cool.
way, and that's why the book went the direction it does. And if you watch the movie with Johnny Depp,
He was originally set out to like cover some motorcycle race or something.
Okay.
For Rolling Stone, I believe is what
he
it
was back in the 70s. Things had started falling apart for him. Because
Yeah.
he had started writing for a bunch of different magazines.
There you
and
go.
Rolling Stone was one of them. And there were others. There was a variety of them. But excuse me. But this gonzo journalism thing was interesting because it's still used today. And then now we just call it embedded journalism. Okay. And like these guys from Desert Storm and these guys in the Iraq War. And
Just
the guys
kind of
over
tagging
in-
along,
Yeah. that's-
asking
they-
questions, taking
So
pictures.
that's where it started. It's where they get themselves into the story that they're
like
writing
Rafterman.
about. Right. So
Full Metal Jacket, Raj? Rafterman?
Ted Nugent,
Rapper.
Double Live Gonzo.
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
That'll work.
Anyway, so he actually committed suicide in 2005,
Oh, sure.
and self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Okay.
Because he was.
He did a
there was
lot of drugs, this man.
Lots of drugs.
Oh,
He
yeah.
lived his life for alcohol, drugs, and hating the man.
Ah.
He was very against society, authority, which
Yes.
is interesting because he did 3 or 4 years in the Air Force.
That'll
back
do
in
it.
the 50s,
Yeah, that'll do
So
it.
that
That'll
changed his
be.
idea. And one more interesting fact was during his funeral, he had them fire his ashes
Thank you for bringing
out
that
of a
up.
cannon.
Yes, that's
Nice.
true.
Sick.
So
He
that was
originally wanted
interesting.
to be shot out of a cannon. That was his like dying wish,
Yeah.
and I think he pictured it in his mind of him being a corpse into like one of those circus cannons.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
They were gonna shoot him out of one of those, and
been
somebody's like, "Let's
fantastic.
just fucking shoot his ashes.
Ashes.
We'll do it." But when I was living in Colorado, we actually were gonna do surgery on him,
Oh.
and he was gonna have his total hip replaced, have a total hip surgery, get his hip replaced, and the surgeon had to fire him as a patient because he was just too out there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was in the pre-op,
Yeah,
he had
gonna
this
be a
rolled up
problem.
newspaper, and he was like this with this rolled up newspaper, and any nurse that would come by, he'd
SWAT at him.
get away.
Wow.
And like get him away, and they're like, "Dude, you got to stop." And he kept doing shit like that, like throwing stuff at him when they weren't looking. And they're like, "Dude, you got to leave. We're not doing your
That's
surgery." And he
awesome.
lost his fucking mind. And I was in a room doing surgery, and I hear this guy in pre-op screaming. I'm like, "What the fuck was
Wow.
that?" So that's how I know about this story.
Wow.
And they told me, "Oh, it's Hunter S. Thompson."
Nice
He's-
job getting another
He's
story in there.
losing his shit, like flashback. It's my show, asshole. No, I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. So yeah, he's a cool dude. Also, he wanted to put in his own like gas tank. He lived in Aspen, Colorado, and when I was living in Vail at the time, and he petitioned the city to put in a fucking fuel tank like at the gas station, so he could have like his own compound out there. And
Wow.
yeah, and apparently.
He was a little weird.
Johnny Depp went to meet him and live with him for a little while to do the research for the movie. And he said he was like sleeping in like the basement on a bed, and there was like this makeshift end table, side table kind of thing that he would, put his drink on before he go to sleep at night, and he'd have a cigarette and he'd put a cigarette out and go to sleep or whatever. He found out like when he left staying with him that makeshift end table was a stack of fucking dynamite.
Wow.
And he had been smoking next to this stack of dynamite for like a week
Yo.
Right
and
around
putting his
out
cigarettes out in the ashtray on top of a stack
Wow.
of dynamite. And he found out and just lost his fucking mind. So this is Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
Crazy dude.
Yeah. Well, he one of the other things I found out was that he missed his own high school graduation because he was in jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Didn't we
for the
all?
course. Yeah.
No,
was-
I made mine.
He was also one of the first people to reference adrenochrome.
Yes, that's how I found out about adrenochrome. Thanks, Brad.
What's adrenochrome?
We're doing this again, Raj?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we talked about this.
It's in this episode.
Episode
Uh,
1, 2?
It might have been one or two.
it's
I'll
been a
find
little
out.
It was
It'll
brought
be-
up pretty early.
I'll put it in the link somewhere.
Yeah.
Is that the book of the conspiracy theory thing?
Yeah, secret society people
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
eating
Ask
on
questions.
humans. Yeah.
Yes. Very
But
good.
he does reference it.